Beloved, welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be covering in detail the official Pro-Ho woodcutter saw kit, or at least what I use. So you can adjust it according to your needs. But out here in the West, well, we like them big, don't we? We like big saws. So I have two chainsaws. A 462 is my main saw. I'm running a great big bar on it because we're cutting great big Doug firs, but usually I'll run a 32 light bar. And then a small 260, which is also a pro saw, but I always go with two. Now, if you only have one saw, here's a quick little hack. One thing that can happen is you can get your bar pinched in a bucking something or a felling. You could sit back on it. Carry an extra bar. That way you can unbolt the power head, bolt on the new bar, and cut out and retrieve your old bar. So just a little trick that some guys can do. I'm also going to be taking a splitting maul, something big. Now, don't confuse a splitting maul with a splitting axe. I'm not going to be doing a bunch of splitting out in the field. I want to do that back home at my leisure, but sometimes the pieces are too big to get up in the back of your truck by yourself, and you can use this. The difference between a maul and an axe is the material that the head is made out of. These are approved and designed for striking, metal to metal, and nothing will withstand this. You can pretty much crack anything, at least out west, with these two right here. At least knock it in half so you can get it in the back of your truck. I'm going to take my Dalmar. Oh, I got that all bungeed down. Pair of chainsaw chaps. The Stihl Pro Marks are my favorite. These are going on 20 years old and still chooching. Very good. Also a hard hat. If you're falling anything, you gotta be very careful. What I see a lot of guys that don't do is they don't look overhead when they're cutting a tree down. I've seen big chunks of bark. I've seen widow makers. Big limbs can hang up there. The vibration of the saw can break things loose, and you don't want that coming down on your head with a baseball cap. So it's a good idea to have a hard hat if you're gonna be felling. A pair of East Coast sissy mittens for those of you who have soft hands, as well as I'm going to take a fire shovel. We're in high fire danger right now. Not having a tool, if a fire starts because of a hot exhaust or your chain can throw a spark, that's a real problem. And with a shovel, in most cases, you can quickly put a fire out before it gets out of control. So a fire shovel is something I'll always take, as well as it gives you the ability to get yourself unstuck, which inevitably happens when you go up cutting firewood. Because some of the stuff we cut is so big, up to 6-7 feet at the bowl, I also take a peavey just to help me move things around if we're doing great big rounds. So having a peavey is very, very handy for moving things that don't want to be moved. I've got my FSS backpack here, which just has a lot of the smaller items. I'm going to have a pretty extensive trauma kit, something that's going to have a lot of ability to stop blood. So a lot of blood sponges, tourniquet, that sort of thing. But also I'm going to carry a small IFAK or at least a tourniquet on my faller's belt or my bucking belt. I showed this to you guys yesterday. Guys are making fun of me. Oh, it's going to take you won't even, all the job will be done before you get this thing on. No, everything is kept here. How long does it take to strap a belt on? The peanut gallery, give me strength. The faller's belt is pretty simple. It's got a file on it. Because I'm pretty far away from the truck, if I throw a chain or if I put the bar down in the dirt and I knock the tip off, I don't want to have to walk all the way back down the hill. We live in the mountains. It's not like we live in the plains where everything is easy and you could just drive to your source. Sometimes, we're 100, 150 feet away from the truck. So I'm going to have all the stuff on me because I need it. I'm also going to have, so I can file it, I'm going to have a pounder, my axe, and a Grizzly Peak Enterprise deal. Now I'm going to have a small wedge pack if I'm not felling. If I'm going to be felling big firs, I'm going to have a full big wedges. But these are just small ones to avoid a pinch and a buck. I'm going to keep a tourniquet on here as well as a scrunch tool. I just wrap that around my waist and has basically everything that I need. The warband all goes out and we cut wood together, so we're always communicating. We'll separate, divide, and conquer, so we'll take the spur roads and keep in communication to find that windfall or that jackpot, and then we'll all go together and work together in processing it. So we're using the Bowfangs with Evans Radio Made Easy antenna upgrade, which is pretty amazing. I'm also going to carry 2 liters of water with me. I'm going to have one with me. It's pretty heavy, hot, sweaty work, so make sure you stay hydrated. So I keep 2, one in the truck and then one on me. I'm going to carry a stump vise in the truck. I'm not going to have that on my person, so if I need to do some heavy duty filing, a set of Bugs goggles. Bugs goggles are nice because they are wire mesh, and if you don't wear glasses and you're doing really physical work, regular safety glasses, they steam up. But these being wire, they make it much nicer. And also, if you're going through really nasty, thick forest, it's got a lot of vine maples, these are very good to protect your eyes. I'm going to have a few wedges in here. Sharpening, you know, depending on what your skill level is, I really have been very happy with this. If you've struggled with filing chainsaws, I would recommend the steel sharpener. This is an excellent tool that pretty much cuts out all of the skill required, and you can get a serviceable edge with these. It's a very, very good tool, and it's very well made. My toolbox, I'm not going to go into it in detail. I'm going to have extra bar nuts. I'm going to have extra spark plugs. I'm going to have 3 chains per bar. So if I've got a 32 and a 36, it's going to be 6 chains sharpened and ready to go. I'm not typically going to mess around with filing on the site. I'd rather just swap out a chain, and I just keep that in this metal box, and as well as all the little bits and bobs that this guy's going to need. And then finally, my Dalmar. I'm going to carry that with me at all times. That just basically goes with the chainsaw. And a Dalmar is a two-chamber tank. Your gas is going to be on one side, your mix for your saw, bar on the other side. Typically, you're going to use 2 to 1. So every time you fill with gas, every other time you can do bar oil. It seems to last pretty well. Yeah, so that is my essential firewood cutting kit. That's not including retrieval gear or winching, that sort of thing, which we use also. That sort of stuff stays with the truck. But this is pretty much a general kit that I would go out with when I'm harvesting firewood in the fall. Thanks for watching. May God bless you and your families. Please keep us in your prayers, and we'll see you all on the next video.